guys, welcome to April and another edition of KIDZONE Online. I know this was a hard week for a lot of us as we learned that we don't get to go back to school for the rest of the year, and we have to stay at home for Easter. So today I mailed you an envelope that includes the amazing Easter race, activities you can do at home with your family to learn and remember about Jesus' last week on earth. Then I also sent all the activities you need to go along with our videos this month. Then we're going to do some more fun stuff today as we do Level Up, It Is Finished. First thing we're going to do today is a game. So I want you to watch as my kids do it, because that seemed the easiest way to give you the directions, and then pause the video so you can play it with your family. For today's game, you're going to need a blindfold and a ball or a rolled up sock for each team. Start by putting the blindfold on your team member's head and give them the sock. You're going to give them directions to get their sock or ball into the bowl. Are you ready, teams?
Yes.
On your mark. Get set, go!
Then Jesus went with his disciples to a place called Gethsemane, and he said to them, "Sit here while I go over there and pray." He took Peter and the two sons of Zebedee along with him, and he began to be sorrowful and troubled. Then he said to them, "My soul is overwhelmed with sorrow to the point of death. Stay here and keep watch with me." Going a little further, he fell with his face to the ground and prayed, "My Father, if it is possible, may this cup be taken from me, yet not as I will, but as you will." Then he returned to his disciples and found them sleeping. "Couldn't you men keep watch with me for 1 hour?" he asked Peter. "Watch and pray that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak." Jesus went away a second time and prayed, "My Father, if it is not possible for this cup to be taken away unless I drink it, may your will be done." When Jesus came back again, he found them sleeping because their eyes were heavy. So he left them and went away once more and prayed for the third time, saying the same thing. Then he returned to the disciples and said to them, "Are you still sleeping and resting? Look, the hour has come, and the Son of Man is delivered into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us go. Here comes my betrayer."
Jesus knew what God was asking him to do, and some men were coming to arrest Jesus. The men were going to hurt him and nail Jesus to a cross, and Jesus was going to die. This was going to be the hardest thing Jesus would have to do, but he trusted God. Jesus knew when this happened, everyone could be forgiven of their sins and have a relationship with God forever. Do you know what sin is? A sin is when we do something, anything, that God doesn't want us to do. We all sin from time to time, and we all make mistakes. So Jesus prayed to God. What does the word pray mean? It simply means to talk to God. Jesus asked God, if there's any other way to do this, let's do that instead. But if not, I will do what you ask me. In other words, Jesus trusted God so much that he was willing to do whatever God asked, even though it was hard. And it's a good thing Jesus did, because that's what saved him.
Hey kids, have you ever played a fun game on a grown-up's phone or computer before? There are so many fun games to play. There are racing games and puzzle games and adventure games. Sometimes there are scary things in those games, but we don't need to be afraid of them, do we? No way! It's just a game. It can't hurt us. We don't need to be afraid of a silly game. But sometimes we have to do scary things in real life. Did you know Jesus once did something really scary? Jesus came to earth to save the world. But before he could save you and me, he had to do something really hard. He had to die and then come back to life. That's a big, scary job that only Jesus could do. As the time drew close for this to happen, Jesus began to feel sad and scared. So Jesus asked a few of his friends to go with him to a garden called Gethsemane so he could pray. Wouldn't you feel sad too if you knew something bad was going to happen soon? Jesus knew this was God's plan and that God had everything under control, but he was still a little bit afraid. When Jesus prayed, he asked God if there was any way the world could be saved without him having to die. He prayed 3 times, and every time he finished his prayer with, "God, do what you know is best." Even though he was scared, Jesus trusted that God had a plan for what would happen next. Have you ever had to face something hard? Maybe your family moved to a new town, you started a new school, or someone you loved got sick. It's okay to be scared or sad when those things happen. But the good news is that when those feelings come, we can talk to God about them. We can ask for God's help. And like Jesus, we can say, "God, do what you know is best." Even when he had to do something really scary, Jesus trusted God. And when we're sad or scared, we can trust God too.
One of our verses this week is Psalms 28:7. The Lord is my strength and my shield. In him my heart trusts, and I am helped. My heart exalts, and with my song I give thanks to him. When I first read this verse this week, I immediately thought of the song by Yancey. So I want all of you to stand up, and we're going to sing Yancey's song, The Lord is my strength and my shield.
Is my strength and my shield, and I will trust him through anything. He's my helper, and the Lord jumping for joy. I'm shouting, 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 thank you. I'm singing my love. I'm giving all my praise to you. God, it's all for you. I give my praise to you. God, it's all for you.
I hope you've all had a great week learning about how Jesus trusted God. I want you to answer these questions with your family. Press pause while you do it, and then come back for our prayer and our Bible verse for the month.
Hey guys, it's Bennett. It's close on prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you that we got to worship you today, and just thank you that we can always come to you when we're in need, and just bless the rest of our week and just be with us. In His name, amen.
I hope you've had a good time learning this week that Jesus trusted God. This week's Bible verse is a great reminder for us this month. Let us fix our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith. Hebrews 12:2. Work on saying it a few times together, and each week we'll have a different way for you to practice as we try to memorize this verse this month. Have a great week. We'll see you all back next Friday for a new video on our Facebook page.